No matter how much a chicken's body shakes, bounces, or jerks around, its head stays perfectly steady on top of its neck, as if someone nailed it in midair. Do you know what kind of magic is hidden inside a chicken's neck? But first, let's look at some amazing facts about chickens. Did you know that chickens, like most birds, can't rotate their eyes inside their sockets the way humans can? Humans can move their pupils up, down, left, right, pretty much in every direction. That's why you can keep your head still and still look around with just your eyes. But a chicken's eyes are almost completely fixed in its head. That's why, whenever it wants to look at something, it has to turn its entire head and neck. You've probably noticed that chickens jerk their heads back and forth while walking, and most people just think it's their funny way of walking. But the real reason is that for a brief moment, their head stays perfectly still in midair, allowing their eyes to capture a clear view of their surroundings. In other words, the head isn't constantly moving. It repeatedly stops at the same fixed point. So how does a chicken keep its head perfectly stable even while its body is moving so much? The answer is that inside a chicken's ear is a natural sensor system called the vestibular system. It contains 3 semicircular canals in each ear. The fluid inside these canals instantly detects even the tiniest movement of the body. The moment the body moves even slightly, these sensors send signals to the brain, and in the blink of an eye, the brain tells the neck muscles to rotate the head by exactly the same amount in the opposite direction of the body's movement. So, if the body moves downward, the neck lifts the head upward by the same amount. If the body tilts to the right, the neck shifts the head equally to the left. As a result, the head stays perfectly stable in space. Humans have a similar system too, but ours works through our eyes. Even while moving your head, you can keep reading this because your brain automatically moves your eyes in the opposite direction to keep your vision steady. This process is called the vestibulo-ocular reflex. Since a chicken can't move its eyes, nature shifted that entire responsibility from its eyes to its neck. And the amazing part is that this neck system is so fast and precise that it keeps the head steadier than the human eye ever could. Now for the most interesting part. What exactly are scientists and engineers trying to build based on this neck? The biggest challenge in the world of cameras is that whenever your hand or a vehicle shakes, the video becomes shaky and blurry. That's why expensive camera gimbals and stabilizers are built. They detect movement with sensors and use motors to rotate the camera in the opposite direction, keeping it steady. But that's exactly what a chicken's neck has been doing naturally for centuries, without a motor or a battery. That's why several engineers jokingly strapped a tiny camera to a chicken's head and tested it on a rocking boat, a bicycle, and a moving car. The footage turned out to be so stable that it was hard to match even with professional gimbals costing thousands of dollars. In other words, an ordinary-looking chicken is actually nature's ultimate camera stabilizer, one that even today's most advanced technology still struggles to outperform.